Hey everyone, Tony here, JP Wisco back with another video for you. And the theme of today's video is going to be affordable vintage cards. Great vintage cards that you can buy for the price of, let's say, a blaster box or two. All of these cards I'm about to show you, I would say I did not pay much more than $50 for any one of them. So we'll say it's the price of a blaster box or two. So I just want to encourage you to kind of look in places maybe you hadn't looked before, or to make the hobby affordable and fun in these times where it very often does not feel that way. So let's just get it started. I want to start off with the only football card of this video, but it's a great one, and that is a 1951 Bowman Ted Fritch. And Ted Fritch was a fullback for the Packers. Of course, he was a pre-Lombardi era player. He played his entire career in Green Bay. He is an NFL champion and a Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer. Ted Fritch, beautiful card. It's my personal opinion, that along with 53 tops, the 50s, the early 50s, 50, 51, and 52 Bowman issues are the most beautiful cards ever made. This one's no exception. Next up, so yeah, this was probably a little less than a blaster box. Next up, we've got a 1954 Dandy Potato Chips Monty Irvin. What a great card this is. Monty Irvin, he was, of course, unfortunately relegated to the Negro Leagues for the bulk of his professional career. He didn't break in with the Giants until he was about 30 years old. He was known for being a mentor to Willie Mays. So this card is a 53. The 50s were kind of the golden age of food and beverage issues for cards. And indeed, I think the golden age of baseball. The 50s, really the decade, kind of the golden decade of the golden age, I think. Great card of Monty Irvin there. So ask yourself, do I want 2 blaster boxes from a flipper, or do I want an original bona fide vintage Mickey Mantle? I want to show you guys the 1962 Top Stamps Mickey Mantle. And I got this for about 2 blaster boxes. So 1962 stamps, don't sleep on these. You can get them for a very affordable price. Lots of Hall of Famers, lots of great players. So these, of course, they're basically just stamps, not actual postage stamps. But they also had an album, so kids could stick them in a stamp album. So here's the Mickey Mantle from 1962. Bet you didn't think you could get a vintage Mickey Mantle for less than $50. Well, you can. This was my cheapest card. This was far less than a blaster box. The 1972 Topps Willie Mays. And I love this card. Everything about it just works. The colors match the Giants. Just a great card here. And how about some Japanese cards? So I'm into it. This is a 1973 Kalbi Sada Haruo. And you might know about the Kalbi cards, right? The cards that came and still do come with chips here in Japan. This one's from 1973. And 1973 was, Robert with Prestige Collectibles, if you're watching. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe 1973 was the first year of Kalbi chip cards. So this is from the inaugural year. Of course, these are still being produced. You can still get them from little packs attached to bags of chips here. I'll just show you the back real quick. Well, it's a little hard to see. This is card number 11. Sada, Haruo, and Shigeo Nagashima were very heavily featured in these 70s sets. They both had multiple cards. So those Kalbi sets generally, well, at least back then, it wasn't like one player, one card. There were various Sada Haruo cards and various cards of other players within the set. Let's see here. Here's a great card that checks a couple of my boxes. I don't know why my voice went up like that. Was weird. It was like that episode of the Brady Bunch when, like, what's his name was, like, going through puberty. Anyway, I digress. Here's a 1950 Bowman Bill Rigney. I got this for less than the price of a blaster box. So this card checks a couple of boxes for me, like I said. For one, he's wearing glasses. And I'm kind of quietly collecting cards of players in glasses, just for fun. I like the Greg Maddux cards where he's wearing glasses. So Eddie Stanky, he played his entire career with the Giants throughout the 50s. The other box that this checks is that I am very much into cards from what the writer Roger Kahn called the era. And the era was roughly from 1947 to 1957, the last year the Dodgers were in Brooklyn, and where New York City had three teams: the Yankees, the Giants, and the Dodgers. And the New York clubs dominated baseball. So Eddie Stanky, not Eddie Stanky, that's the next one. Sorry for the spoiler. Bill Rigney played in that era. Great card, 50 Bowman again. These are just beautiful. So ask yourself. And I want to say, like, so this is part of my point, right? Bill Rigney, he, not a big star, not a well-known player. He was a decent player, and this is a great card, but it's just, you gotta, you want to make the hobby affordable. Not every card, if you ask me, not every card in your collection has to be of a superstar. I think we get caught up in everybody has to be a superstar. It's got to be a rookie card. It's got to be a rookie card. Well, it doesn't. I think I got this card for like $15. It's like less than a blaster for a beautiful vintage card with 4 sharp corners. Anyway, sometimes I don't know why people spend their money the way they do, but you know what? Speaking of superstars, here is one. And I got this card for the price of a couple blasters as per the rules of this video. And here is a 1959 Fleer Ted Williams. So this is, I think, just a remarkably overlooked set. In 1959, Fleer made an exclusive contract with Ted Williams, and they released an 80-card set featuring only Ted Williams. So they kind of chronicled his life and career in 80 cards. This is the number 63 Ted's All-Star record. And it talks about, well, I'll just read the back for you. It says, Williams has played in 14 All-Star games through 1958. Ted's All-Star game batting average is .317. He has accounted for 12 runs batted in and has hit 4 home runs in these star-studded games. So this card, again, about $50. Now, if I told you that you could get a genuine vintage Ted Williams card from his playing days for like $50, would you believe me? Well, you should believe me. You can get these cards for an astoundingly affordable price. As I said, this set is very overlooked. I think this number 63 is the most aesthetically pleasing card of the set. It's just a great looking baseball card. Not all the cards are quite this nice. You know, there's some funky cards like Ted Williams on the playground playing ball as a kid or whatever, but it's just a great set, and I intend to get more of these before, you know, if and when they do go up. And finally, we've got another New York Giant. Although he, unlike Bill Rigney, he was not a career Giant, but he was a bit of a journeyman. But he did play for the Giants for a couple years in that stretch called the Era that I talked about. That's Eddie Stanky. And Eddie Stanky was also briefly a player manager with the Cardinals. But before that, he was kind of a journeyman. He kind of bounced around. And this is a 1952 Burke Ross. Just a great card there. So that's it for today. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.